inside Dodger Stadium, where we saw one of the greatest World Series games of all time last night. The Dodgers in 18 innings take a 2-1 series lead, and we're all set for Game 4. We welcome inside with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. How in the world did these teams follow up last night? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. How do you follow up reaching base 9 times in a game? If your name's Shohei Ohtani, you do it by taking the ball as the starting pitcher. For the first time in the World Series, we get to watch Ohtani on the mound.
Yeah, there is no way to top last night. Oh, wait, yes, there is. The greatest show on earth. Shohei Ohtani. Well, it's hard to explain. We'll do our best. What he's doing is unprecedented. So, for the first act, what do you think, right? He's going to pitch that game, and he's going to do okay. Well, okay is an understatement. 6 innings, 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. No way to top that. Yeah, 9 times he reaches base. He goes 4 for 4, and the encore is he's going to pitch tonight. I don't know how he's doing it. I'm going to try my best to explain it, but you're in for a great show.
I hope you can figure out the words for it, because I know this afternoon it's like, it's just hard to explain what this guy's doing. He tries to shut down a Blue Jays offense that has been one of the best offenses in baseball, but now they try to bounce back, and that is as tough of a loss as you're ever going to suffer.
It really is, and they knew they were facing 4 great starting pitchers coming into this, and really their offense, when it gets going, it really gets going. But then it can, like any great offense, be shut down, and great pitching and good pitches will do that. And here's a great example. First 8 innings, unstoppable. Next 12, not so much. The next 4 look like they're coming out of it. And then against the bullpen, which was the key to winning the World Series for the Blue Jays, 11 innings and 0 runs. Credit the Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen, but they're going to have to be the Blue Jays better.
Blue Jays have made a season out of bouncing back, doing things that it looks like they can't, but they're going to be without a key piece as they try to do so tonight. And for the details, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, you said it. All season long, the Blue Jays have overcome obstacles. They led the majors in comeback victories. They rallied in the ALCS after losing the first 2 games at home and a crushing Game 5 in Seattle. But tonight, they face perhaps their greatest challenge. George Springer is out of the lineup after leaving last night's game with right side discomfort. Bo Bichette will be the DH. The Blue Jays say Springer is day-to-day, but they are losing a player who has hit 23 career homers in the postseason on a night they are facing Shohei Ohtani. The odds are against them, but this is a team that never seems phased. Now over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. As the cool of midnight descended on Dodger Stadium, after 18 grueling innings, Shohei Ohtani left the celebration at home plate and ran to left field in the embrace of fellow countrymen Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki. Ohtani had played through body cramps, getting on base 9 times, the most in World Series history in a game. Yamamoto volunteered to pitch in relief 2 days after throwing a complete game. Sasaki gave the Dodgers an inning and 2/3 of shutout baseball. Ohtani is the highest paid player in the game. Yamamoto is highest paid pitcher. In that embrace, that did not matter. What mattered was the shared knowledge they knew they had given everything to the cause of victory. Joe.
And they have the Dodgers within 2 wins of a repeat championship. Duflat and the Blue Jays have a response as they try to get this series back to Toronto. Now a message sponsored by Corona. La Playa is always just a lime away.
Roll out the red carpet for our guests and place their names exactly where they belong. High above the streets and shining lights. Why not? Because the truth is, chasing this dream isn't glamorous. It's not perfect or effortless. The road here isn't silk and champagne. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's over 170 games. It's dog days, summer days, and rainy days.
Drills one, forget about it.
It's buses at midnight and flights that land when the sun's already up.
Kirk has changed Game 3.
Winning, real winning, isn't polished. It's bruised.
Play at the plate. He scores from first.
It's messy.
He's out.
It's imperfect. It's everything you can't fake.
Shohei Ohtani
It's earned. It's beautiful on its own.
Has ended it on a Game 3 classic.
Let's just save the Hollywood for the ending. Welcome to Game 4 of the World Series on Fox.
We are all set for Game 4 after the epic Game 3. Dodgers with a 2-1 series lead as they try to make it back-to-back championships. The Dodgers take the field, and the Blue Jays get ready to bat without their heart and soul at the top of it. Instead, it'll be Nathan Lucas to lead things off for John Schneider, with George Springer out of the lineup as Kenny reported. Everybody just slides up. Guerrero hits second, and Bichette third. Addison Barger's all the way up into the cleanup spot, followed by Alejandro Kirk, who went deep in last night's game and is having a fantastic fall classic. Clement Jimenez and Kiner Falefa, as the dominoes fall, finds himself back in the lineup at second base. 18-inning thriller, 6-5 the way of the Dodgers, and in the moments after that, in the Dodger clubhouse.
But we got a game later today, all right? Hey, we got a game later today.
And Shohei Ohtani's showing his teammates what he plans to do. One day after he hits 2 home runs and reaches base 9 times, which is 3 more than anybody ever had in a World Series game, Shohei Ohtani, for the first time, pitches in the Fall Classic.
Yeah, he has so many ways to get you out. His pitching record will speak for itself because he's got just a half a season under his belt. But there's the many ways he can get you out. He's one of the greatest athlete I've ever seen. And we'll see what his legs are like. His fastball's electric. Everything's electric. Can he have the stamina and the mental discipline to get through what he did last night and get through a game on the mound? We'll talk that through as the game goes on.
He's in his second season with the Dodgers. His first as a two-way guy. Finished off his recovery back from his second Tommy John surgery midway through this season. So he started pitching in June. Normally a guy comes back from Tommy John, it's going to take him some time. But what did Ohtani do? He had a 2.87 ERA. He had the highest strikeout rate in baseball. And into the postseason as a pitcher for the first time. He beats the Phillies in Game 1 of the division series. He has a game for the ages in the clinching game of the CS with 10 strikeouts over 6 scoreless innings while he hits 3 home runs. And now he gets it going in the World Series. Umpiring crew will line up this way with John Tumpane calling balls and strikes. The Dodgers 2 wins away from becoming the first repeat champion since the New York Yankees at the turn of the century. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, trying to steal one of these next 2 games to get this back to Canada for a Game 6. With Springer out, it's Nathan Lucas to lead things off. Off of that 18-inning epic, off we go in Game 4 with a fastball up and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
Early on, the adrenaline is going to be kicking pretty good for Ohtani. So see if the Toronto Blue Jays can keyhole his fastball and not chase it out of the strike zone.
Popped up down the left field line. Kike Hernandez is over to the center. Makes the catch. Wow! Fresh off of last night's craziness, it's a highlight defensive play to start Game 4.
Didn't have to mess with any spectators. Ohtani's like, thank you very much.
And the other Hernandez applause.
This is a matchup I wanted to see. These are 2 of the greatest stars in our game, and offensively they have done a nice job and slowed down Guerrero. No extra base hits. Pitching them tough.
Guerrero fouls off a first pitch fastball. As aggressive as we've seen him go out of the zone, he's been so locked in. Dodgers have really pitched him tough in this series. He's been on base 7 times, but does not have an extra base hit. Has not knocked in a run. 0-2.
Of the breaking balls, the slower breaking ball is the only pitch that's going to give Guerrero fits, in my opinion. He can hit just about everything else.
Ohtani gets him on 3 pitches. Yeah, by the way, thanks to Sydney Sweeney for our opening video piece today. Her new film, Christie, will be in theaters on November 7th. 2 up and 2 down for Shohei Ohtani in this first inning, and here's Bo Bichette.
I know a lot of people think and thought and probably still believe I'm crazy, but this is where he's the most comfortable, is on the mound. I know his offensive numbers are going to trump anything that I can explain as a starting pitcher, but this guy is unbelievable in his athleticism to repeat his mechanics and throw pitches that we just don't get a chance to see because he's been hurt for a while. Well, now he's healthy.
Doing Babe Ruth type stuff, but he's done it for a longer stretch than the Babe did. 2 outs. Bo Bichette swings and misses at a fastball at 98. But Bichette up to hit third now with everybody sliding up with Springer out. Bichette was 2 for 4, knocked in a run and scored a run yesterday before John Schneider got very aggressive with his bench, unloaded it as that game went on. Just misses there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Blue Jays have to do something in tonight's game to shock the system of Ohtani. Right now he's riding a tidal wave of success and emotion.
Man, that sweeper looks good.
Like I said, he can break a ball in so many different ways. He can throw it slower. He can throw the slider tighter. He can split finger you underneath the barrel, and then he can ride the fastball up in the zone that you're going to have a hard time catching up with.
Looking for a 1-2-3 first. Bichette takes it away. Shane Bieber ready to throw his first pitch momentarily. The 2-2. No. Lays off again, and he's worked it full. It's amazing what Bo Bichette has done, having not played in a month and a half, coming back into this World Series, and in 3 games hitting above 400. The payoff. Bichette takes ball 4, and the Jays have their first base runner.
And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to really battle a guy who can throw a lot of pitches in the strike zone and pick and choose their moments to make him work as hard as possible. The fatigue factor is in his mind that you block out until it becomes so real you can't block it out. It's going to be real at some point in tonight's game.
Inning kept alive for the powerful Addison Barger. 2 more hits yesterday. Over the top of the curve, he slows it down to 76. That's a 23-mile-per-hour differential.
So that's what I'm talking about. People that have never pitched, they don't understand when I make the comments that he has the ability to manipulate a baseball as good as anybody I've ever seen. Top to bottom, right to left. No. You've got to have great mechanics and touch to be able to throw these kind of pitches, the 5 and 6 that he has. And I'm telling you, he could survive with just his fastball. That's how good his fastball is. But it's almost like a show pitch.
For Shohei, he's got 7 different pitches. And really, with his breaking pitches, you can slice those up differently. It can become 9 or 10 different pitches.
Absolutely. And his release point, sometimes a little lower. And he will sweep that curveball across the zone.
No. What you're talking about, hitting something that he does. Pitching, if you ask him, is who he is.
Yep.
His whole life, this is what he's dreamt of. Pitching in the big leagues, pitching in the World Series. 31-year-old from Oshu, Japan. The Barger with a 2-1 pitch. A fastball right down Broadway, 2-2.
And where we'll talk throughout the game is why the legs are so important for a pitcher. It's the fastball consistency. When your legs are a little tired, you lose your upper body a little too much. You pull that fastball. That plane in which he threw that ball, unhittable, because it stays right there.
No. Lays off a curve. Couple Blue Jays working deep counts against him. Bichette drew the walk. And we'll get a head start here with a 3-2 to Barger. One of the hottest Blue Jays hitters. Over his last 8 games, Barger's hitting .385 with 3 home runs. Jays looking for that big swing early. Here it comes. A shot left side. Muncy able to get there and keeps it in the infield, but it's a hit for Barger. And it's a change for the Jays in the first.
Well, they had some chances up until about the 10th inning. And here's what the Jays can get a win out of this inning already by the fact that 2 outs pretty quickly. And now the last 2 batters have put that pitch count, in a place where it could add up. A bullpen that's depleted.
You look back at yesterday's game as Alejandro Kirk comes to the plate. There were just so many moments that felt like they could be the moment that kept on getting topped and topped again and topped by an even bigger one. Kirk had one of those early moments, a 3-run home run that gave the Blue Jays the lead. 5 out of 10 in this Fall Classic with 2 long balls. Tied with Cal Raleigh this year, Sandy Alomar for the most home runs by a catcher in a single postseason. And this is not necessarily his game. He's found that power stroke in October. Pops it up. Right side of the diamond, last night's hero, Freddie Freeman, waits on it to come down. He finishes off and scored his first inning for Shohei Ohtani, who'll go into the phone booth, get changed, and ready to lead off.
Can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership where
Freddie Freeman to follow him. Part of the order for Dave Roberts as Will Smith hitting cleanup. Teoscar Hernandez coming off a 4-hit ball game. Max Muncy's at third, and then it's Edman, Kike Hernandez, and Andy Pages to round things out. Ohtani last night on base all 9 times. His last 2 home games, he's been up 13 times. He's reached base 13 times. 7 out of 7 with 5 home runs his last 2 games at Dodger Stadium. The incomparable Shohei Ohtani leading off against Shane Bieber and taken upstairs for ball 1. Shane Bieber, 30 years old, out of Laguna Beach, California. Behind Ohtani 2-0. He's acquired at the deadline from Cleveland. Had not pitched in a year and a half when the Blue Jays picked him up. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. So the Blue Jays were betting on the resume, betting on a couple of rehab starts that they had seen, but dreaming of him pitching in games like this, hoping that he could tap into his Cy Young form that he showed in Cleveland. His 3-0 to Ohtani is in for a strike.
Well, that pitch right there is where they got to go, and I know they're hesitant to ever pitch to him in crucial situations. This might be the only time they pitch to him all game.
See if he gets anything good on 3-1. It's a heck of a knuckle curve right there. Bieber's got nasty breaking stuff.
And his slider's going to be the key for him tonight. He started off each game, that ball's a ball, but he started off each game with a lackluster sliders, and then he's able to make the adjustment mid-game, 2nd and 3rd inning.
Here he comes to the payoff, and Ohtani takes ball 4. I think he got him backwards. It ultimately winds up in a walk like it should have been, but he called ball 4 strike 2, and then he called strike 3 ball 4. How hard is this? I mean, he's doing 2 full-time jobs. It's a full-time job to be a pitcher. It's a full-time job to be a hitter. He's doing both at the same time.
It really is impossible, and I'll do my best to explain it. Like, the thought today is probably not going to steal much because his legs and everything he went through, but we'll see. He might do that too. But he has no time to prepare for his start. Every pitcher who pitches and a starting pitcher, they're thinking, watching, fresh. They got no stress the day before. They're watching the opposing hitters. He can't do that.
No on to Mookie Betts.
No. So when does he mentally prepare? It's in game and it's today. Plus you got to sleep. You want your most sleep on the night before you're pitching. Well, that was tough because you got to bed at probably 1:15, 1:30 in the morning. And then you're kind of on the fly doing the things. You can do your work on an off day 3-4 days ago, but then guess what? Hitters change.
His passions are baseball and sleep, by the way. Obsessive about getting those 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah, and I'm not saying hitters don't need any sleep. Don't get me wrong. They got a hard job too, especially when you go 18 innings. But just yesterday, Bieber didn't have to worry about anything other than late. He had to get his specs on. He might have been in the game if it kept going.
His 2-1 is there for strike 2 on Betts.
So to put it simply, he could kick back, watch the game on TV, watch where the hitters are, what they're swinging against, watching his teammate pitch against them. Well, Shohei's watching the other pitcher. He's watching who he's going to face and preparing to hit the entire night.
In the dirt, stopped by Kirk, and Ohtani's not going anywhere.
So the bottom line is there is not a position or a player that has ever been put through the discipline and the mental toughness to do what this guy is doing at the highest level under the most attention and delivering beyond anybody's expectation.
The spotlight here in Los Angeles, the expectations that come with a record-setting deal, and he's trying to go 2 for 2 winning World Series here. That sends a pop flying to right center field, and there's been a lot of that from Mookie Betts in recent days. Part of the reason that John Schneider's been able to be so cautious when it comes to how he pitches Ohtani. So 1-on-1 out in this first inning. Shane Bieber, who they got at the deadline, 7 starts for him after they brought him over. Those are 7 starts coming off Tommy John surgery. He's made 3 in the postseason, and his 11th start in the last year and a half is his World Series debut. He faces off with last night's last hero, because there were a bunch of them as that game ventured on. His first time, became the first guy in World Series history to have multiple walk-off home runs.
It's rare in a game like that last night that actually a hitter's swing could get better as the night was going on, and you could see Freddie was getting closer and closer to getting on top of those fastballs until he finally did and sent everybody home.
Now to 0-1 from Bieber. Freeman takes inside. There were several balls that looked like they were going to go and didn't. So everybody in the Dodger dugout was saying, hey, until we actually see the thing fly out, at this point, we're just going to figure it's not going. And Freddie said he didn't know if he got his. How hard he hit a couple earlier in the night. Same with Will Smith and Teoscar Hernandez. They didn't get him. Bouncing ball to second. Backs up counter for left. Goes to second to get Ohtani. 2 gone in this first inning, and time for Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. Takes a look at the Dodger offense, which did enough last night. The Dodgers 2 wins away from winning it all, even though this big-time offense with 3 MVPs has not really clicked in yet.
No, they haven't, and that's, I guess you can look at that as a positive for the amount of wins that they've had already in the postseason. You would figure they're going to get going at some point, but if they still keep getting the pitching that they're getting, they don't need quite as much.
Fulfilling the cliche that pitching wins championships. Google Cloud powered those real-time insights, built with Gemini. Here's Will Smith.
No.
And how about Will Smith's job last night? Catching all 18 innings. Took that foul tip off of the forearm. Dave Roberts texted him this morning to check in. How you doing? And he said, I feel great. Feel good. Why? Why do you ask? Both catchers. Kirk and Heineman sharing last night's duties for the Jays. Foul ball, and it's 1-1. And speaking of the life of a catcher, Kirk wears that foul tip. We got that spike on Jimenez there. Checks on him, make sure that he's okay. Both teams at first inning base runners. Blue Jays stranded 2. Dodgers have Freeman at first with 2 out. And this 1-1 to Will Smith is put to right center field. Barger's going back with room. An inning in the books in game 4. No score between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Peacock brings the thrills of Jurassic World Rebirth home.
I can guarantee your safety, more or less.
More or less? Experience the adventure of the most colossal film of the year.
Hey guys, I'm taking her home with me.
That may or may not be a terrible idea.
Jurassic World Rebirth, rated PG-13, coming soon.
The Chevy Foundation is part of the Capital One walk-off program. To date, Capital One has donated more than $1 million to the foundation to support its programs and initiatives. After an inning, no score on a beautiful night in Los Angeles. Temperature up around 90 today. Down to the low 80s as we move through game 4. Shohei Ohtani to Dalton Varsho with the first pitch of the second, and it's popped up on the left side of the diamond. It is Mookie Betts. 1 pitch, 1 out. We saw him throw 7 different pitches in that first inning. You were talking about how hard it is on the hitters, and this shows us why, as we see on StatCast 3D.
Yeah, he just breaks the baseball in so many different ways. When you got to think about the 4-seam fastball, that's one thing. Then the splitter comes off of that. We haven't seen it yet. Then the curveballs that he throws, one big, one slow. And then the slider is the tighter version of the breaking ball that makes it even more difficult. He'll mix in a cutter. He'll mix in whatever he wants.
Scores in a strikeout, Ernie Clement. Now, ball, and it's 1-1. Yeah, there's this idea, this false idea that greatness or genius is something you're born with. It couldn't be further from the truth with Ohtani, with anybody who gets to the level that he's at. Genius is more about identifying what you're meant to do and then pouring your life into it. And he's an example of that. Youngest of 5, sports-loving family, out in the middle of nowhere in the northern part of Japan. His dad was a baseball player. His mom was a badminton player. He got into baseball when he was 8, and right away it became his passion, became really his life. And every single day was spent trying to get better at it. He'd wait for his dad to come home from his job so they could play catch. And him and his dad started to share a journal where they jot down thoughts about his games and his practices, what was going well, what he needed to work on. He gets connected to the bag for out number 2. And for years, they'd write back and forth on that. Always making sure to check in, are you still having fun? Shohei even made a year-to-year life plan for his career and his personal life. He had the stuff in there like when he wanted to get married, all the way to finishing off his big league career as a 40-year-old. He plans to finish as a 40-year-old and pitch a no-hitter in his last game. So with all that intentionality and with the talent that comes out of working like that, well, that's how you get to where he is right here. Finishes high school as already a household name in Japan. First one to Jimenez is tapped back to him. And after 5 seasons doing his thing as a two-way guy in Japan, he comes to the big leagues at 23. 8 years of doing what we've never seen done before. And really, at the end of the day, this is just a big kid that loves baseball.
Work versus fun. Know the difference.
Dodger fans got to live the full Teoscar Hernandez experience the last couple games. He strikes out 4 times in Game 2. He gets 4 hits in Game 3, and he looked like a different guy.
He did. He was locked in. He did not have 3 wild swings outside the zone. He had 1 and then lock in. Slow the game down, and you're able to mechanically trust. This is the problem that people don't understand sitting at home. Like, how can a guy just go 1 for 20 in the postseason in the World Series? No. You lose your feel and your timing, and when you lose your feel and timing and your mechanics, you start stressing and pressing and searching for hits instead of trusting the process. And the guys who can slow it down and aren't bothered, and talking to Dave Roberts, is like, he ain't bothered by anything, no matter what happens.
On the hands to short. He said he might put the rest of us through an emotional roller coaster, but he is as steady as they come. He's the first out of the second. Dodgers trying to solve Shane Bieber in this game, the native of Laguna Beach, who spent 6 seasons in Cleveland. Won a Cy Young in 2020. You mentioned the Tommy John surgery that he had early on last year. Gets traded to the Blue Jays in July. Continues to finish off his rehab. Comes back and was way better than you would ever envision a guy would be after missing that much time. And this postseason has been hit or miss, which is more what you expect for a guy fresh off the surgery. In the championship series, he won Game 3, dominated in Seattle with 8 strikeouts over 6 innings. But then in Game 7, he was out of there with 2 outs in the 4th. It's 1-0 to Max Muncy downstairs.
Well, the biggest thing about him is he tries to stay out of the middle of the plate. He pitches to all 4 quadrants, and the extra day rest they feel like is going to help him, and why he's pitching Game 4. It might come at the absolute perfect time because they need him to go 7 innings. I mean, 7 innings is a dream scenario for John Schneider. And, of course, if that's the case, that means they're in the game or winning.
One of the things in last night's game that was amazing was these bullpens. As Muncy takes the 1-out walk. 2 bullpens that were the sore spots for the clubs combined to throw 26 innings and keep it going deep into the night.
Well, part of that is out of necessity, and you're knowing if you give up a run, you probably lose. The other part of that is offensively, you go into a philosophical approach of, I must hit a home run to win this game. And when you do that, the subconscious part of your body says, I'm going to win it right now. We saw an abnormal amount of pop-ups and flyouts in the extra innings.
Tommy Edman with 1 away. Rips one down the line, foul.
We didn't see any of those swings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. In a 9-inning game, you know you got time. You're going to play the game more normal. In an extra inning game, you're like, one swing. Let's go. And everybody starts changing their approach, and you get for these kind of marathon games sometimes.
It was 5-5 after 7 innings. It was still that way until Freeman homered in the bottom of the 18th.
No.
Ball one strike on Tommy Edman, and take your pick what stands out to you. You can go back to the crazy base running play in the second inning of the game. That got buried by another 15 or 20 wild plays. How about Tommy Edman's adventure of a night? 1 for 8 at the plate, a key error where when he makes that error and Alejandro Kirk follows it with a home run, you're like, he may be the GOAT in this game that everybody's pointing to as costing the Dodgers game 3. By the end of it, he had made one huge defensive play after another that is the lasting image of him. Waits on this 2-1 from Bieber. Edman up the middle, base hit center field. Muncy running the bases hard. Varshall's arm is not good. First and third wild.
Biggest part of the field on the infield is up the middle. And that's exactly where he went. Gets on top of the ball, hits it right back up the middle. Easy first to third situation. And now we got our first run scoring opportunity for the Dodgers. And Bieber's going to try to induce a ground ball here. Really trying to get a ground ball to shortstop.
With Kike Hernandez coming to the plate. Another one of the themes of last night's game. Neither team good with runners in scoring position. They combined to go 4 for 26. As part of that approach you're talking about, instead of the simple base hit to get a guy in, those big swings, and they didn't. Hernandez in the dirt. Kirk able to knock it down there with a backhand.
You know what stands out for me, and it's maybe a little unfair to cherry pick the one situation, but right after the pitching coach came out, Ohtani's at the plate, Dominguez is on the mound, and I know it's only a 1-run lead, but he didn't execute. Whether they told him to pitch around him, you just can't throw the first pitch right down the middle, especially a fastball. I thought we'd see a lot of splits. That turned everything upside down for John Schneider because he had made defensive changes, pinch running changes. Of course, Springer comes out of the game, and they had no offense the rest of the game to score a run, in my opinion, based on what they were trying to defend and finish the game off with.
Well, he said with 3 games in a row right here, he was going to look for the kill in one of them to guarantee that the series gets back to Toronto, and they had it right there with the lead late. The chase from Kike Hernandez, 1 ball, 1 strike. 18 innings. 399 minutes of epic baseball. One of the greatest World Series games of all time. Hernandez had 2 hits for the Dodgers. Trying to get him on the board here in game 4. Bouncer foul, 1 and 2.
Well, if Hernandez is in pull mode and you make a good breaking ball pitch right here, unless he chops it slow, you're going to get a recipe of a ground ball. So you make this breaking ball. If you're Bieber, you throw it knee high in the middle of the plate and let it break. He will not stay off of it. He'll try to lift it, hit the top of the ball, and it'll be a ground ball. If you leave it up, he'll lift it in the air, and he could do damage with it.
The margin's so slim. First and third, 1 away. Scoreless second inning. 1-2 pitch from Shane Bieber.
No.
Slider taken away.
That one wasn't on the plate enough. It's a good pitch, 1-2, 100%. You're going to try to see if you can chase. But now you got to make this one look more like a strike and end up less like a non-competitive ball.
He's been throwing that slider more and more here in the postseason. Now he tries a 2-2. Hernandez pulls it to left field to the corner and foul. Need to be lower?
Yeah, need to be lower. He hooked it foul. Now, again, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. He got out in front of that one, got to it. I would say if he wanted to go for the punch out now, you go inside and up or inside off the plate, get him to be able to swing and miss. Now you go for the strikeout after all those breaking balls if Bieber goes to the fastball.
Walking a single, have him at the corners. Another 2-2 from Bieber. It is a fastball, and it's lifted to deep right field. Barger goes back on it, steps into the warning track, plenty deep enough to bring home the game's first run.
The reason I didn't like that away is it's too easy to lift the ball away for that sac fly. You've got to be so good inside to be able to do that as a hitter and pull your hands in. That pitch actually did him a favor to get that fly ball.
Kike Hernandez knocks in Max Muncy. The Dodgers go walk, single, sacrifice fly, and lead game 4. Now, one of the stories of last night's game was how good they were with 2 strikes. Dave Roberts had been talking about how disappointed he was in the fight, in the at-bats, in the games leading up to last night. But they had 11 2-strike hits. And Hernandez with a sacrifice fly with 2 strikes right there.
A good piece of hitting on his part. He took what the pitcher gave him and he went right where the area you should go.
Andy Pages continues to get opportunities.
No.
Roberts at this point, John, is looking at this saying, okay, we got a 2-1 series lead. On paper, we got the better roster that should win. Pages has been terrible, but do we need to shake it up for the sake of shaking it up?
No, if you had 3 of those guys in there, someone would sacrifice and have to come out. But no, I agree.
So he continues to have Pages in there for his defense in center. He gets into this ball in the air to center field, but off the end of the bat, a touch. Dalton Varsho gallops under it to end the inning. Dodgers strike first. A sac fly from Kike Hernandez.
There's working, and then there's growing a business.
Including how to find a league near you. Go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, Shohei was on deck when that last inning ended, and he's got to take all that gear off. He didn't get out there to warm up until a few seconds ago.
No, he only got 5 pitches. Well, he's going to give him 1 more. 6 pitches.
As he gets ready to pitch this 3rd inning, and we get ready for Sunday on Fox. Justin Jefferson leading the Vikings in an NFC North showdown against,
oh yeah, Detroit Lions.
That's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Sunday on Fox. 9-1-2 coming up for the Blue Jays. Down 1-0. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads things off. Now, the Blue Jays all season have found an identity in coming from behind, simply leading the majors in comeback wins, but also when it's looked like you need to count them out. You know, coming off a last place finish, and then 2 months into the year they're below 500, and it's like, yeah, they're doing what everybody figured they would. John Schneider said he knew early on they were different, though. 0-2 on Kiner-Falefa. Is it back to spring training, just seeing the blend of personalities in the clubhouse? He had a feeling they'd be the kind of group that wouldn't just roll over. And as each month went by, he got more evidence that that would be who they are.
No.
It's 1-2 on Kiner-Falefa. This, though, is another level of a gut punch. That game last night, they were down 2-0 in the championship series. They were down 3-2 in the championship series. This is perhaps their biggest test yet at turning the page. Ohtani's 1-2 to Kiner-Falefa. A fastball, punch to second. Tommy Edman for the first out of the 3rd. Back to the top of the order. Nathan Lucas comes up, and we go down to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani left the ballpark last night at 10 after midnight. Now, as you mentioned, Joe, he loves his sleep. I'm not sure how much sleep he got in after last night. But it's interesting. I asked Dave Roberts about any hesitation about having him be a 2-way player tonight. He had his lineup made up even before Shohei arrived. He said it was never a doubt that he was going to DH and pitch tonight.
It's amazing. But if there's anything that baseball fans are starting to learn, it is don't bet against anything when it comes to this guy showing up, doing stuff that we've not seen done, and doesn't seem like he should be able to do. Inside with his first one to Nathan Lucas. Defying conventional wisdom, making us rethink what's possible.
I just love how they rolled him out in the second half and really slow rolled it, right? Like 1 inning, then 1 inning, then 2 innings. I don't know if he'll pitch in the postseason. Yeah, right.
Lucas rips a base hit into right field. Over to cut it off Hernandez. He holds Lucas to a single. And for more on Lucas, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, Nathan Lucas had that big bases loaded at bat against Clayton Kershaw in the 12th inning last night, and he told me he actually moved up on the plate for the first pitch, kind of hoping he would get hit, thinking Kershaw might be a little wild. It didn't happen, and obviously after the first strike, he moved back, winds up grounding out on a pitch outside the zone. He knew it. He said, "You don't normally see me throw my helmet, but I did."
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. takes low, and it seems like every time we bring up something from last night, it reminds us of another key moment, another image that you'll remember. Clayton Kershaw coming out of the bullpen for the first time in his career in extra innings, and perhaps the last pitches he'll throw in the big leagues, getting out of that jam.
You could not pick a worse scenario for the greatest pitcher to handle a narrative that ended up not being a narrative, right? And he got it done. It was the only batter he faced. He knew the moment was going to be huge.
No.
And the guy on deck, if he faced him, nothing good could happen, meaning the run had outscored or more, and you're going to face Guerrero. So what a moment. And there were, like you said, so many of them, but he got it done.
Guerrero's up there right here with a 2-0 from Ohtani. A fastball hit foul. Remember in the All-Star game when we were talking to Kershaw, he faced Guerrero, and Vlad hit one like 115 to left field for an out. But yeah, that is not an ideal matchup for Clayton Kershaw. And you asked Dave Roberts' level of nerves when Kershaw came in. He said, "Yeah, I'm nervous because I wanted him to do well for the guy, but at that point, that was the best option. And anytime that's the case, you got to have conviction in it. Got to be able to live with it." A night where they set a World Series record by using 10 different pitchers and had an 11th warning for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball to deep left center field. Headed back there. It is gone. Vlad Jr. gives the Jays the lead. The franchise face putting the team on his back.
I'll tell you, this guy's amazing, and he's ready for everything. I mean, this is the first mistake that Ohtani has made, and he didn't get it back. And he can appreciate that because he does that to every other pitcher when he's at the plate. This breaking ball is up, barrel of the bat, out in front. And I said, if a spinner is in the zone, it's a recipe for a launched home run. All you got to do is backspin it as a hitter and get that barrel to the ball, and the ball just takes off.
7th of the postseason for Guerrero. On the ground to second, Tommy Edman. 2 out.
Toronto just has to do something to surprise the crowd and surprise Ohtani. And I'm telling you, this will be a big challenge for Ohtani. Everything we laid out, the fatigue factor is real. He's not going to use it as an excuse. No one would ever. But as this game plays on, he was going to have to deal with the wear and tear of last night on the mound. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he may have like a brown lower half jersey because he's sliding way more than any other pitcher would ever slide when he gets on the mound because he's got so much action at the plate.
25th hit of the postseason for Vlad Jr. 1 ball, 1 strike on Barger.
First extra base hit, right?
Of this World Series, yeah. It's still, like you were talking about, taking what the Dodgers had given him. He's still getting his hits, getting his walks, but at a time where the team needed a little bit more than that, especially with George Springer out, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is there to provide it, as he's been throughout this postseason. Because remember, he hauled into these playoffs the burden of having done nothing but fail in previous Octobers. The Blue Jays were 0-6 in the postseason since Guerrero arrived. He had just 2 hits. But right from game 1 against the Yankees, when he crushed a home run in the first inning, he's been everything you could dream of from your franchise star. Barger to left, Hernandez there. A 2-run home run from Vlad Jr. has given the Blue Jays the lead in game 4.
Dog turkey. This is also turkey, but only one is gently cooked to give your dog the nutrients they need without the ultra processing. Get 50% off your first box only at thefarmersdog.com.
And I'm feeling good.
Feeling good is an understatement.
I feel great.
I feel pretty good. When you hear that and you see the greatest baseball player, pitcher knows he's in trouble.
And
That's the song ringing through Dodger Stadium as Ohtani leads off this bottom of the third against Shane Bieber in a 2-1 game. After Vlad Jr. goes deep against him, he leads off.
All right, we did a series with the Rangers where Corey Seager set the all-time record of walks in a series, right? I mean, he's got to be on his tail at the rate we're going and maybe break that.
4 intentional walks in yesterday's game. On base 9 times. The previous record was 6 times in a World Series game. And he had the walk to lead off today's game. That is 14 consecutive plate appearances where he's reached base.
The other thing people don't realize about Shohei Ohtani, you might slump at the plate as a position player, but you got your defense, right? You go home and you realize, oh,
no.
He's got 2 parts of the game that he can't afford to be slumping at both at the same time, whether it's pitching and hitting. So he's got something to think about every single time he goes out, and mechanically he's got to deal with 2 different fashions of his sport.
On a 2-2 from Bieber, he fouls it into the glove. Bieber made his best changeup of the night to strike him out.
Changeup acting like a screwball away from the outside part of the plate. And again, we talked about it all night last night. Nobody made those pitches against him in the first 4 at bats. Nobody got a ball on the outside part of the plate because he was willing to crush the mistakes, and he did. He crushed all of them.
Here's Betts with one away. Part of that, like we touched on when Betts flied out to right field, has been that Betts hasn't been able to make them pay when they pitch Ohtani carefully. Yeah. 1 for 8 yesterday and 4 for his last 31.
He's got a lot of movement with his hands, but when his timing's right, he hits a fastball better than anybody.
Speared at third by Clement.
That was point right there. When his hands get to a position of hitting, he's always going to take that first pitch for the most part. But when his hands are off, he's getting a lot of pop-ups. See that movement you saw right there? It's that little wiggle and timing. And where he's been off is you see pop-ups to the right side, pop-ups to the infield. That means you're getting underneath. You're not on top of the ball. And there's the hands and the movement in slow motion, and see how he connects better with the barrel to the ball.
2 up and 2 down. Bieber looking for the shutdown inning after the go-ahead home run. Here's Freeman.
Our guy on the desk had a lot of that movements with his hands, but he did better than anybody. And Derek Jeter fighting off some of those pitches to right field, pulling him when he had to, and Betts a little bit different in his hands. But every hitter has a timing mechanism, and every hitter gets just a little bit off, and you're a fraction off as a pitcher, it equates to location at the plate. Fraction off as a hitter, it equates to 102 off the bat versus pop-up or roll over to the ground ball.
I bet saw a lot of that this summer in what was his worst offensive season. Much less of it down the stretch and early on in the postseason, but these kinds of soft pop-ups have returned here down the stretch. Freeman said that he got not a whole lot of sleep. He said like 3 2-hour naps with a few play sessions in with the kids between them. The adrenaline running after last night's game. And an 0-2 from Bieber. He pokes one to left center field. That's going to get down for a 2-out hit. T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America. Sun setting in Los Angeles.
I don't know about you, but I get those little 10-minute, I hit my snooze button. 10-minute nap feels like 40 when you got no sleep.
Power nap, love it. You go too long, no, it's bad. Sluggish, you wake up all drowsy. Got to hit that sweet spot. 2-out base runner for the Dodgers in a 2-1 game here in the third. Will Smith. Fly to right his first time.
Ow.
And Smith, after hitting below 200 over the last 2 months of the regular season and then dealing with that hand injury, that's become a silver lining for him because he had to sit there and do not a whole lot. So the rest of his body got to get fresh after the grind of a long season of catching. And in the playoffs, he's got the top average on the Dodgers.
Now.
Remember the changeup there. If you got 2 different breaking balls, you want the slower breaking ball against Will Smith. He's good on everything, stays in there, doesn't overswing. But the slower breaking ball is going to give him more of a fit than the hard slider because it's got the speed and the velocity of which he's timing up and hitting well over 300.
Now.
Breno.
2-out runs. The Blue Jays got a 2-out home run in the top of the inning. They're backbreakers in the postseason. That was a 2-out 2-run homer, right?
I think it's this one, but I can understand you. Probably not a whole lot of sleep last night for you either.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you had time to get one of those 10-minute naps in. 3-1 on Smith. Left side, cut off by Clement. Takes his time, heaves it across, and a shutdown inning for Shane Bieber. The Blue Jays with a 2-1 lead as they try to tie this series up.
Let's keep going. How is it that the Blue Jays are so unfazed?
It's the personalities we have in the clubhouse, and it starts with the leadership guys. I think that we've really kind of grasped onto that, and the guys play for one another. It's really, really cool to watch them just come every day and just focus on what's important, that day. So off to a good start.
Shane Bieber, so far, what do you see?
So far, so good. I think, when Shane, his last few outings, especially in the postseason, when he kind of gets into the game, he gets into a good rhythm. I think that his breaking ball is good, curveball especially. Good changeup to Shohei there for the strikeout. And I'd like to see him use his heater a little bit more, locate that, and open up some other things. But right now, I think he's pitching like a veteran does.
Finally, George Springer. You're listing him as day-to-day. How realistic is it that he might return in this series?
I think so. He was able to swing a little bit this afternoon and kind of progressively feeling a little bit better as today goes on. So we'll see how the rest of this game goes. And if not today, hopefully tomorrow he should be good to go.
John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
This is the part of the game that you got to watch for that fatigue and the adrenaline running off.
Breaking pitch gets him swinging, but it was over the plate.
Yeah, he has the stuff to get through this lineup. Don't get me wrong, but this is the part where you get the adrenaline is gone, and you're now working off of all the training you put in, all the effort to dominate on the mound. He's going to have to work really, really hard mentally on location from this point on.
One gone in the fourth inning, his second strikeout. Now he's home with a fastball for a strike on Dalton Varsho. Now, he was so good in high school in Japan that his plan was to go right to the United States, sign with a major league team right away, and pursue the pitching side of things. And he was so certain that he was going to do that he told Japanese teams, do not bother drafting me. I'm going straight to the States. There was one team, though, that ignored that and then sold him on the idea of trying this, of trying to do something nobody had ever done, and that is be a two-way guy. And he was already doing it. It's just he hadn't really considered that could be a path that he could take as a pro. And they had a forward-thinking manager on that team. The Fighters were the team, and Hideki Kuriyama is the manager, kind of the Joe Madden of Japanese pro baseball. And he said, hey, you can go where nobody's ever gone. What do you think? And so Shohei decided to wait to go to the big leagues and take on that challenge. 3-2 on Varsho.
So already I've seen just a couple things. It's not horrible, but in the first 3 innings you can get away with stuff and not have great location. From the 4th inning on, you've got to really, each inning you pitch, the location spots have to be better because your stuff gets less.
Fouled into the glove, but that's back-to-back strikeouts where he didn't put it where he wanted it.
No, the fastball is just a little bit running on him. He's cutting a couple and missing a couple up, but his ability to spin the baseball, again, such a weapon for him on a 3-2 count. The hitter can't just confine to and commit to one particular pitch. They just got to hope for a mistake and get it like Vlad got it.
2 up, 2 down in this 4th inning. Ernie Clement.
No.
We celebrate what he does now as a two-way guy. When they announced that he was going to try that in Japan, it was met with resistance because the thought is you need to devote everything to one pursuit. If you're really going to truly be a master, you can't possibly do both things. And so it took some time for him to break down those walls and gain believers there. Let's go of a 1-1 pitch to Clement. Sweeper moves a mile for strike 2. Check swing, 2-2.
See, all he does with that breaking ball, if he wants it to break top to bottom with slower break, he gets on top of it. If he wants it to break side to side, he's going to get on the side of it and create the same torque, which creates that east to west movement. And I think that's why it's so tough to hit against a guy like this, because hitters are used to seeing certain pitches break a certain way, and now they got to cover every angle and every lane.
Looks to strike out the side in the fourth. Chopper foul.
Here's the other thing people forget. How bad he was with the Angels when he first got there. Spring training, they were like, I don't think there's any way we can bring him up, but his contract called for an X amount of things for him to do, and good for him. And he worked his way into both, being pretty darn good.
Another 2-2. Strikes out the side in the fourth. The Blue Jays, though, on a Vlad Jr. home run, have a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the fourth of Game 4.
Fly ball out for the first out, coming off a 6.5-hour game the night before. But what do you see from Shohei Ohtani in terms of stuff and energy level?
You know, I think he's being very methodical. I think in between pitches or in between innings, you can see he's lowered the kind of in between pitches. He's throttling down on the fastball. It's 96, 97. I know there's more in there, but I think that, you know, he's just being, you know, like I said, methodical with it. I think, you know, the last inning, I thought it was a really good inning. He's spinning it really well. And, you know, even in that third inning, he got Vlad early with the sweeper. And then I think Vlad was sitting on it, left the pitch up and hit it. But I think overall he's been good.
Dave, on the offensive side, Shane Bieber, kitchen sink games, 5-pitch guy mixing it up. How has the approach been so far?
It's been okay. You know what, I think that, you know, I think if we can get him out after the 5th inning, I think I like our chances, you know, and he's pitching off his cutter with Muncy. He's going to spin him a lot. And but I think that if we can still, you know, use the big part of the field, he's going to nibble and try to get ourselves out. But yeah, he's throwing a fine game right now.
Thanks for your time, Dave.
All right, Tom.
They walked Muncy his first time, and Muncy came in to score the Dodgers run on a sacrifice fly from Kike Hernandez. This time he gets the better of him with his second strikeout of the night. On a night where the Blue Jays badly need length from Shane Bieber, holding the Dodgers to just a run through 3 2/3. Both these managers, a white knuckler last night, having to manage that game, leaning on their starters today. Everybody having to dig deep. Dave Roberts said, look, this at this point is mind over matter. And he pointed to Will Klein last night. He said if Will Klein knew that he had guys behind him, he's not going to do that. But he knew he was their only hope and went way beyond what he ever had. And Dave said more than anything, watching him do that and then seeing the look on Will Klein's face in the clubhouse after the game is what will stick with him. Tommy Edman fouls it off, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, at this time of the year, you got to find a way. Everybody's banged up, and if you find a way and you stay mentally tough, it'll be the longest game. I'm not talking about innings. I'm talking about the longest game mentally you'll ever play, because you condense everything to one pitch at a time. As a hitter, one pitch at a time. As a pitcher, same thing. In regular season, you don't do that. The greats do that, and they can separate and single out one pitch, but it's hard to do that in a regular season game and do that 160 times, 162 times. So postseason, you really got to draw that out.
600 some pitches in yesterday's game. It's a lot of pitches to lock in for. 2-1 on Edman. Here comes Bieber.
No.
Ball 3. Edman who singled his first time. That's one of the 2 hits against Bieber. Bottom of the Dodge order. They got the run in the second. Bieber kicks and throws.
No.
Little high for ball 4. His 3rd walk. Well, we had the 18-inning affair in Game 3 in 2018, but a different feel to that one. That was pre-pitch clock, so even though there were way fewer pitches, it was about an hour longer, and innings and innings and innings without much threatening. Last night, it was like there was constant tension, like the game was always just about ready to snap.
No. Clean innings are hard to get in the postseason. 1, 2, 3, hard to get. And there you had 2 quick outs and then a walk, and now you're right back in the mess. That's what it feels like.
No.
A lot of the, 18 half innings in extras. They're only 3, 1, 2, 3, and make that 4, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, you think that's not that many, and that adds up.
Tying run at first, 2 out. Hernandez pokes on the right center field towards the gap. Barger's over there to put it away. And Shane Bieber through 4 innings, holding the Dodgers to 1. Back after a word from your local Fox station.
Whoa, looks like you're backing up a bit here. Okay, Luann? Is there a Luann in the house?
Remember, you don't work here.
Lead on a Guerrero Jr. home run in the 3rd inning against Ohtani. 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays here in the 5th. Shohei goes back to work after he struck out the side last inning. Andres Gimenez takes upstairs for ball 1. Giving new meaning to pitching on short rest. Normally that means a day less between recovery for a starter.
No.
For him, pitching on short rest is less than 24 hours after he's on base 9 times. Jimenez, Kiner-Falefa, and Lucas for the Jays here in the 5th. Strike 1.
Breaking ball won't suffer as much. It's the fastball command again to be watching and throwing enough strikes with the fastball. He can throw them with breaking ball anytime. On the ladder there.
What is it about the fastball that makes that the harder one?
You got to use your legs more. You got to be able to get down through the ball and finish and follow through. The curveball, you don't have to. You use your legs, but you're not like full effort.
Strikes out Jimenez with a back foot slider. 4 consecutive Ks. 1 gone in this 5th inning, and with Ohtani pitching, star-studded attendance tonight. You don't even get the graphic for Sandy Koufax is in the background there. James Marston, Austin Butler, Tobey Maguire's taking this one in, and then Sydney Sweeney, who's seated next to Christy Martin, the namesake of her new film, Christy Martin was a pro boxer, champion pro boxer. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Grounded out his first time. And a fastball with life makes it 0-2.
You can just see the effort level on that fastball. He kind of spun out with his feet, but he still threw it. Cut a little bit over the middle of the plate.
Because usually it looks like 0 effort. In the air to left center field. Routine for Kike Hernandez. 2 up and 2 down in the 5th. We talk about him doing things that have never been done, and then the question pops up, well, what about Babe Ruth? Didn't Babe Ruth do both? At first he was just a pitcher, and then for most of his career he was a hitter. There really was only 2 years in Babe Ruth's career where he was a true two-way guy, and he said, I've had enough. I want to just hit. And so just 1918, 1919. Boston staff was depleted because of injuries, because of guys away for World War I. He stepped up and did both, but that was a real small time frame in the Babe's career. This is the 5th year that Ohtani's done two-way.
By the way, it's the most shakes I've ever seen for a first pitch. Went through the gamut. 6 shakes to get to the splitter.
Here's his 1-0 to Lucas.
No. No.
3-0. We talk about the expectations, the pressure of being here. All eyes on him here and around the world.
That's what I hope we see more of in the future for Ohtani.
More fastballs?
94 to 96. Every once in a while, 98, 99. This guy knows how to pitch.
Base hit the other way from Lucas. Into the leadoff spot with Springer out. Moves up 1 spot in the order, and he's got 2 hits in this game, doubling his total from the first 3. And he gets Guerrero to the plate here in the 5th.
First base to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Last time he was up there, Sandy says, oh, he left that one up. Shohei knew it. Vlad with a swing that the Jays needed has fired him up at Rogers Center, where they are so hopeful They get to watch another game from the Blue Jays this year. A fastball challenged him 99.
That's what I'm talking about, though. He has gears. He could throw 99, but imagine if he threw every pitch at 99. His ability to last at that level is not great. 94-mile-an-hour slider, not great. I mean, it's great, but it won't last.
And so it starts and within your career.
Correct. So when you need it, you use it. When you don't have to. There's not every guy in the lineup that's going to hit 40. So I hope, and you see this difference in velocity, I hope he can learn that over the course of the next 3 years.
Nasty. 1-2 on Guerrero.
That's the only pitch, average-wise, that Guerrero struggles against. You throw anything hard, he's going to do something with it.
It is a fastball right over the middle, smoked to center, but it Pages. We're halfway home in Game 4. The Jays lead Ohtani and the Dodgers 2-1. For the World Series, 2-1, Blue Jays in front. In this ball game, it's 2-1, Dodgers in front in this best-of-7 series. Shane Bieber giving the Blue Jays what they need a night after the bullpen carried such a huge load on both sides. Andy Pages leads off at 9-1-2.
If you don't think in between innings, this is the way pitchers think. Okay, I got 9-1-2. Got to get the 9 guy out. Have to. The worst case scenario, tying runs at the plate with Shohei Ohtani. But that's how you think. You go, I have to get the 9th hitter out.
Now, always going to be the case, and then amplified when you got that.
Absolutely. And when he's doing what he's doing, now he did strike him out tonight.
But again, part of their freedom in choosing to pitch around or put him on intentionally, that's unlocked by getting the guy out in front of him.
Exactly right.
And they've had that path pretty much clear because Pages has been so bad. It's been much easier to decide how to go at Ohtani.
And I know it sounds crazy, but if you're leading off here and you got a chance to get a double and it's iffy, you stay at first. You get a single. Let him come up. They're not going to walk him with a man up first, nobody out. But they sure are going to walk him. It's weird, isn't it? The same scenario would happen. Man on second, nobody out. They walk him. First and second. Man on first, nobody out. They're not going to walk him.
2-1 to Pages. In for strike 2.
And both would be first and second.
You're right. Pop flies, shallow right field. Barger comes on, and they will face Ohtani with the bases empty. They walked his first time. He struck out in the 3rd inning. And the things he's done in this World Series back to last night, you got to go back to find black and white pictures to find comparisons. Smiling Stan Hack. The last guy to reach base 9 times in a game. That was not in the playoffs. That was in 1942 in the regular season. Babe Ruth on there again. And yeah, he reached 9 times, but he also had 4 extra base hits in the game, tying Frank Isbell back in 1906 as Ohtani limps this one off. Bounced and then hit the back shin.
If you want your best chance of getting Ohtani out, besides a fastball tight to the letters, it's the curveball. But you can't throw a bunch of them. So you have to be able to get him in a place where you've seen and he sees different areas and different pitches. Then the curveball, you got a chance.
Dodgers tied it with a home run from Ohtani last night in the 7th. But there's the tying run in the 5th. Bieber's home with an 0-1. A fastball. He swats it foul, and it's 0-2.
So far, that's perfect. When you see Shohei Ohtani and you see the damage he's been doing, that pitch is the best of the worst. Meaning it wasn't that bad, but these are the ones you cannot do. You give him the freedom to get extension, and that extension in the strike zone is absolutely playing with fire. Now, the one up and in, there's nothing you can do about that. That is, you could say it needed to be higher.
That's your tip the cap.
Yep.
You're going to need a new bat right here. You know, he hadn't had an extra base, hadn't had an opposite field hit in more than a month, and then he had that RBI double in the 5th inning. He took the other way and looked like a different, more comfortable, patient hitter after that. That opposite field home run, and that's when the intentional walks came.
I'm telling you, in a weird way, when he took that high inside pitch out of the ballpark, it eliminated that pitch the rest of the night.
Strike three. Sword from John Tumpane, the home plate umpire. Second time that Bieber has struck out his pitching counterpart.
There's the breaking ball, and that breaking ball, I don't know. Ohtani's going to say, okay, I want that pitch now.
So Ohtani, who has struck out 5 himself on the mound, has now struck out twice at the plate. 2 up, 2 down in this 5th inning. And as much as the Blue Jays offense has been a topic of discussion, the Dodger offense only 2 runs over their last 16 innings.
See what that last at bat did for Mookie.
In the air to center field, Varsho is there. And on one pitch, Bieber's not going to let him find much out. 2-1, Jays in front, onto the 6th.
Entyvio is the only gut-focused treatment for moderate to severe Crohn's and UC. Gut-focused Entyvio works right where you need it to block inflammation in your gut.
On Ring, AI tuning for sharper goodbyes, clearer hellos, and safer tomorrows. Protect your home like I do with Retinal Vision on new 4K cameras and doorbells from Ring. Shop now at ring.com.
Last night, the Dodger bullpen covered 13 1/3. The Blue Jays bullpen covered 12 2/3. These starters with pressure on them to go deep, and we got a pitcher's duel developing. 2-1 to the 6th as Ohtani spins in a strike on Bo Bichette. 3, 4, and 5 for the Blue Jays. Difference in this game, a home run from Guerrero in the 3rd. Got a chase on a pitch that was a yard outside.
Listen, I know we tried to describe how great this guy is. I'm more impressed with tonight's outing for everything he's been through.
No.
I mean, because right now you can't see it, but he's grinding and he's using everything he has to pitch, to not just throw, to not just blow him away. He's pitching.
Couldn't hear the sign from Willis. They hit the button again. Well, you set it off at the top. Normally the starter is going to be the freshest guy in the building. It's the opposite of that. Just played an 18-inning game. Fires 1-2. Bichette fights it off. On his way to a 3rd consecutive MVP. It'll be a 4th MVP in 5 seasons. And his 2nd year with the Dodgers. Going to make it 2 for 2 MVPs and World Championships after he didn't play in a single postseason game in his time with the Angels. Shakes a few times again. Delivers 1-2.
No.
Buckles his knees but misses away.
He's got the nicest shake no I've ever seen.
Oh, everything is very kind and nice and smooth.
I think Scherzer shakes like that.
No. A little more vigor. In the air to left field, Kike Hernandez drifting back to get Bichette. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, now the best network in America. Well, they had prayers sent up to the heavens. They had rally caps. They had tears from Ellen Kershaw. Every emotion you can think of packed into last night's ball game. Today a little bit steadier, with the tension growing as it goes late. Strike 1 on Addison Barger. Blue Jays trying to tie this series up. If they can win one of these 2 games where they are not favored when it comes to the starting pitching, if they can steal one of those 2, guarantee that it goes back to Toronto. Ohtani picks this one off and shovels to first. 2 out. A little bit of everything.
Yeah, there's nothing I don't think he can do. I'd love to see him play outfield. Can run everything down.
Well, that was his position when he was playing the field.
Yeah.
And there was even a time earlier this year where he volunteered to go back out and try that again. Dodgers were like, okay, let's drop back somewhere. I think DH and pitcher is plenty. 2 out, 2 down in the 6th inning. He's looking for his first 1-2-3 since the 2nd. Dangerous hitter here in Kirk.
No.
Out of his hand, 1-0.
No.
2-0. 4 MVPs in 5 years. You'll get the great 5-year blocks in baseball history. From the pitching side, Koufax, 5 straight ERA titles. From the hitting side, Barry Bonds, 4 straight MVPs to start the century. But to do both over a 5-year stretch, singular. Broxton fires 2-1. Kirk climbs the ladder and fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
15 wins next year.
Calling it. How many homers?
45.
Ooh, falling short of 50 for the first time. The Dodger uniform. Home with a 2-2. Strikes out Kirk. Shohei Ohtani in his first World Series game as a pitcher. Marvelous. But the man that's had the last laugh to this point is Vlad Jr. His Jays with a 2-1 lead.
What's up, Carl Nation? It's your #1 broker with the best full-service wealth management.
While we all marveled at Shohei Ohtani, the Blue Jays are sitting over there with that smile that Vlad Guerrero gave us as we went to break, saying, hey, we're in front, trying to tie this series up. And Shane Bieber, as good as Ohtani has been, is out pitching him here into the 6th with a 2-1 lead. 0-2 to Freeman.
Both pitchers really have made just one mistake, and you can't even call it a mistake per se for Bieber. It's just once runners got first and third, the fly ball is the only run he's given up. Now the Blue Jays pen will be on high alert. I think if you ask John Snyder, 6 innings out of Bieber, yes or no? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here's his 1-2 pitch to Freeman. Breaking ball, pull past Guerrero, sneaks under his glove into right field. A leadoff single for Freddie Freeman. His second hit of the ball game. 2 out of the 3 the Dodgers have. And it's another 2-strike knock for LA.
Yeah, tough play there. Tried to get a short hop. We've watched Guerrero make every single play imaginable at first base. This one hit too hard. And at least only a single.
Leadoff man aboard. Will Smith to the plate. Freddie Freeman stole a base last night. Line drive center field. Varsho makes the catch. The Gold Glover in center field. Dalton Varsho takes a hit away from Will Smith. Championship teams talk about pitching and defense up the middle. This team has that.
Yeah, this ball slices back towards him. He does a nice job and a good read. And that might be it for Bieber.
Instead of allowing him to face Teoscar Hernandez, here comes John Schneider. And a conversation here at first.
No, maybe not.
John says that he's told his starters if he runs out there, they have a chance to talk their way into staying in the game. If he's walking, you're done. John was walking, but Shane still talked his way into staying in. We get a quick word from Capital One.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that'd have to be
Bank guy.
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
What's in your wallet?
Well, he's going to trust the breaking ball that he has and making the breaking ball off the plate against Hernandez. And I think he was checking his pulse and seeing where he's at. That last ball obviously hit very hard. The surprising thing to me, we haven't had one, if any, or not more than one double play in this series. That's pretty crazy.
None in the 18 innings last night. That's a line drive, base hit center field. Teoscar Hernandez scorches one into center. Tying run into scoring position.
Well, almost off the plate where he wanted it. And we talked about Hernandez, how he's staying on the ball a lot better here in the last 2 days. And that's the shortest 2 quick trips you're going to see a manager make.
1 pitch later, the Dodgers have Shane Bieber out of the ball game and have the Blue Jays bullpen forced into duty first. 6 full innings from Ohtani. Bieber 5 1/3. Penn takes over. 2-1 in the 6th.
Hey, Copilot.
Amounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Shane Bieber finished after 5 1/3. The book not yet closed. The runners at first and second, his responsibility. The left-handed rookie Mason Fluharty is on for Max Muncy. Replaced Max Scherzer last night. Gave up a double to Shohei Ohtani, gave up a single to Freddie Freeman, and 2 runs to get the Dodgers back in that game. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. Muncy sends a fly ball to center field that Dalton Varsho has spotted. And on one pitch, he gets out number 2. Well, the guy who had such an adventurous night in the field last night, and Tommy Edman, has been on base both times in this game. He went from being the scapegoat ahead of the 3-run home run from Kirk to making what John Schneider said as impressive of a couple throws as he remembers seeing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, that first throw, and then this is a good relay.
Credit to the defense, but among the crazy things that happened last night, there were 6 outs made on the bases. Switch hitter. Natural side of the plate right here. Slugging numbers almost double from this side of the plate. Freeman at second. Hernandez at first. Fluharty home with an 0-1. Edman chops it foul. Strike 2. Innings out of the bullpen in yesterday's game. What do they have left down there tonight? The 0-2 to Tommy Edman. Struck him out. Mason Fluharty out of the bullpen to preserve the line for Bieber. And to preserve the lead for the Blue Jays after 6 innings in game 4. 2-1. And back after a word from your local Fox station.
Start Saturday strong.
Piece of World Series history. MLB.com/World Series auction. Dalton Varsho bangs the first pitch that Ohtani throws into right field, starting the 7th with a single. Blue Jays lead this game 2-1, and a home run from Vlad Jr. back in the 3rd. Dodgers just 1 run of support on 4 hits for Ohtani, who tries to get an out in the 7th inning for the first time as a Dodger and for the first time since July of 2023, when he had a complete game shutout against the Tigers in the afternoon in Detroit. And then in a doubleheader later that night, hit 2 home runs. 1 ball, no strikes on Ernie Clement. Clement trying to extend a 9-game hitting streak. A lot of time to extend it last night. Cranks this ball to left center field. That's headed for the gap. That's headed for the wall. Varsho rounds 3rd and stops on a double from Clement. Screamer of a line drive. Puts him at 2nd and 3rd.
This is the point in the game I was talking about where your stuff and location has to be really, really good, because you lose the extension and late life on your pitches. So location, the later you go, is way more important, and that's going to be it for Ohtani. I mean, still a remarkable job to go into the 7th inning after 18 innings of baseball last night.
Strikes out 6, walks just 1. Blue Jays with at least 2 runs on 6 hits. Anthony Banda's ready to go in that bullpen. Ohtani leaves to a good hand. Down 2-1 as Banda and the Dodger pen takes over.
This is Judy and Pedro. They just bought their first home.
Jays the lead. This is just a big kid that loves baseball. On Guerrero's home run, 2-1 Blue Jays as the Dodger bullpen gets active here in the 7th. Anthony Banda's the pitcher. Jays have him at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. The infield is in as Andres Jimenez waves and misses at a first pitch slider. Banda faced just 1 hitter yesterday. Finished off Tyler Glasnow's last game. And it started that marathon of relievers. Relay race, 9 guys out of the pen. Here's his 0-1.
No.
Ball and a strike. So you had a Blue Jays bullpen that covered 13 innings in yesterday's game, 12 2/3. Dodgers 13 1/3, and just 1 run. The 1-1 to Jimenez. Anthony, strike 2.
Great pitch right there. No real chance for him. Jimenez got to break a breaking ball off this height of that pitch right there. Put a lot of pressure on the outside part of the plate and go for the strikeout.
Banda deals.
Ooh, man.
Jimenez takes it.
A little bit more on the plate again, and that would have been a tough take. It's a good take as it was, 2-2.
Big part of the Blue Jays offense has been the bottom of the order contributing through this postseason. They've teed it up here for Jimenez on 2-2. In the dirt, Smith's able to keep it in front of him to save a run.
Well, if you're Jimenez, do you sell out on a fastball right here? And what I mean by that is you are going to commit to a fastball over the middle of the zone, and if you see it, go after it. Now, if you commit to that fastball and it's a great breaking ball, you're going to miss it. And it's the challenges of hitting in the big leagues.
Time taken. 9-hitter Kiner-Falefa is on deck. Blue Jays looking for insurance, trying to give some wiggle room to that taxed bullpen. Single from Varsho, double from Clement. 3-2 pitch from Anthony Banda. Fouled it off.
Ooh, man.
Had that fastball.
Yes, he did. Didn't get the barrel, didn't get the head out to go get that 97. Ohtani really did an incredible job. I don't think people understand. He's still in the game as a hitter, though.
Another payoff. Able to stay alive. Yeah, that is a rule that was created for Ohtani. Players that are designated as two-way players, as he is, when you're the starting pitcher, when you remove, you can stay in as the DH. Different if he was pitching in relief, they would lose him as the DH. Banda's 8th pitch. Jimenez comes through with a base hit to left center field. Varsho's in to score, and it's 3-1. Andres Jimenez battling with 2 strikes.
That was more like Blue Jays baseball that you've been seeing throughout the playoffs. Runners in scoring position, they have been stingy. This is literally put the bat on the ball and see what happens. And that's what happens when you do put the bat on the ball. Drawn in infield, easier to hit. But if you've got a big swing, you're going to swing and miss. If you've got that short swing, put it in play.
Kind of swing you should have when you're down there hitting 8th. You're in the lineup for your glove. In that situation, do what it calls for.
Now, I don't think they'll do it here, but this is a perfect place for a safety squeeze. First and third. Oh, there you go.
He does square, and the corners came crashing. He took a ball.
Safety squeeze. The player at third base is going to read the batter at home, and the first baseman's going to read the batter as he squares around and have to charge. And you, at worst case scenario, you got second and third and 1 out if you make a bad bunt. But now you put pressure on the defense, and if it's executed and you time it right, impossible to throw them out at home.
Squares.
No.
Ball 2.
And then the other thing you do when you square around a bunt, you have the greatest idea of a strike zone because you can follow the ball all the way. So now a 2-0 count. Now you can take it off. Freddie Freeman's uncertain, and you go ahead and swing maybe here 2-0.
Top of the order next. Kiner-Falefa takes in the dirt. No signs of the bunt right there.
Perfect execution, even though he never did anything. Now he's worked a 3-0 count. Favor the hitter, and much favor to the Toronto Blue Jays to break this game open.
Chance at a big inning. First and third, nobody out. A 3-0 pitch and a green light for the 9-hitter.
A 3-0. The one thing, though, and you be disciplined on 3-0, it's a pitch you've got to pull. So if it's a pitch you're fouling off to the right side, you haven't done your part. That means it's either too far outside and you didn't keyhole them in the inner part of the plate.
Coming into the series, we talked about the key for the Blue Jays getting to the Dodger bullpen. That's part of why last night was so shocking. That pen had to cover pretty much the whole game. 11 scoreless innings from the pen to finish. The first inherited runner's already in against Bonda. He's home with a 3-1. Kiner for left foot, Scorcher to third, Muncy to first, double play!
Wow, that is something you can't do, though, at first base. It's base running 101. Line drive to third, nowhere to go. And, oh, man, I'm sure they're going to look at it.
Does his hand get in there under his...
I'm not so sure it does.
Shoe.
I mean, they got to look at it no matter what.
Challenging the out call at first base.
Replay review presented by Zoom. Wow. Bunch of these in last night's game. We have our first one today.
Oh, I think you might be right. Got the oven mitt on the wrong hand. Get a little extension with that oven mitt.
Yeah, you never reach it.
Even though it's regulated, it's all approved by, you can't have a longer one. But that's a reactionary pre-thought. When you're base running, you got to say the ball must go through when it's in the air. You pre-think that, and it's a reaction that you know the first move you're going to make is back to the bag. And that ball was hit so hard to third base. To be that close and maybe be out, that would be tough for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And then Muncy with a quick trigger to get it over there to first. Again, the call on the field is that he's out. So do they see enough in New York to overturn this call? This is looking like a golden chance for the Blue Jays to put up a crooked number for an offense that we've talked about has the ability to do that. Just has not been able to lately. Jam that hand. Freddie Freeman's foot.
Well, the reason this is so big is you got Guerrero, who may not come to the plate, obviously, if this is an out. But his chances of coming to the plate, if it's safe, is greater, barring a double play, of course, after this call is rendered.
So many defensive plays last night that were key plays.
Secondary lead, line drive, and then he slips. Part of that slipping, getting back, might have been the difference.
Here's the verdict.
After review, the call in the field is overturned. The runner is safe.
Okay.
Toronto will retain its down.
So they do see enough there to turn the call. Jimenez gets his hand back in.
That is huge for the Toronto Blue Jays, and now they're going to... I mean, reaction, hot corner, look, throw.
Mark Pryor's coming out for a visit with Anthony Bonda because John Schneider has dipped into his bench right here. He sends up Ty France to pinch hit for Nathan Lucas. Bonda has to face him.
Yeah.
You have to face three hitters after coming in.
Good point. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You think about the pinch hit scenario where you know you're not going to lose your pinch hitter to an opposite's arm, reliever coming in, right-handed reliever. So some of these moves yesterday, in a perfect world up by one, didn't end up working for John Schneider because of the way the game unfolded, and the very next pitch was a home run. We talked about that. He's hoping to cash in right here with at least a fly ball.
Same aggressive personality that he managed last night's game with. France pinch hitting here in the 7th for a guy who was 2 for 3 tonight. First and third, one away. France waves and misses. He had not had an at-bat. He had not appeared in a game in more than a month when he came off of the bench yesterday when Springer got hurt. Went 1 for 3.
So hard to tell yourself as a hitter. If it's low, let it go.
It was high, let it fly. Bouncer right side. Only play is at first. The run comes through the back door. And right away, that overturn call looms large as Clement comes in to score. And an RBI and a pinch hit ground out from Ty France.
Oh, now they have to walk. They have to walk Guerrero.
Fridge, where's the fridge?
Contact again, gets it done.
And that's going to do it for Anthony Banda. Those 2 runs are charged to Shohei Ohtani, but Banda, after they put Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on intentionally, unable to pick up where the bullpen left off last night with the heroic relief work. Banda's finished. Jays ahead 4-1, trying to get this series tied up. Doesn't know what's going on as he comes back from Tommy John surgery. It's been an up and down postseason, but in his World Series debut, very much up. Just 1 run over 5 1/3. And then Mason Fluharty comes on for the 6th inning to keep that line right there. Much different relief work so far in this game. Fluharty does a good job to keep the Blue Jays in front. And then Anthony Banda gives up the 2 runs that he inherits. So 4-1. Trinan's on for Bichette. Walk in the first inning for Bichette. He's 0 for 2 since then. Blake Treinen, who was one of the trusted arms in last season's championship, has struggled mightily this October. There's another shot to deep left. Over the head of Hernandez and against the wall. Bichette hangs on with a long single, and it's 5-1 Blue Jays.
Looking for that first one from Bichette to really let it go, and he did. It's the first missile he's pulled, and you know he's been waiting for this moment. Gets a hanging breaking ball, and he just, that's well over 100, I would think. 106. I'm going to guess 106 miles an hour. Guessing.
We'll get that answer for you.
Total guess.
109.6.
Okay.
Had the 6 in there. Blake Treinen has now faced 8 hitters in this World Series and given up hits to 5 of them. 2 on, 2 out. Barger. Ground ball left side. Past Mookie Betts, and it's 6-1. A 4 spot for the Jays in the 7th.
Well, what happens with Blake Treinen when you're not 100% is that sinker that is so nasty has a bowling ball drop off the table effect. It's just not as effective. That late movement allows the hitter to track it. Breaking ball hanger and the sinker that you hit on the ground that you think you're going to get the out just doesn't have that last extra movement that misses the barrel. And that's the difference.
And the difference in this game, Fluharty getting out of the jam in the bottom of the 6th. Banda and Treinen failing to do the same in the top of the 7th. Kirk.
No. And then what you do with your hand, you try to break your sinker more than it's got to be natural. And when you come over the top, see that ball, he pulls over the top. It has this like fall to it and not late movement. That's when you're not behind the ball, you're not fluid and free. And the hitter can recognize that at the plate.
And the Blue Jays suddenly are looking right at it, at that one game that they needed to steal here in Los Angeles to guarantee that they take the Dodgers with them back to Canada.
Now, you know, we get to go through the locker room. You never know what goes into a day after a game that is really gut punching. They wasn't dancing, but they were free.
Playing video games.
They were like just a game. It was a hard game, but they were loose and ready to play tonight. Can't say that for every team that goes through a game like that.
Jack Dreyer. The left-handed batting Varsho's on deck. 2 balls, 1 strike on Alejandro Kirk. 2 hits, including a home run last night. He's looking for his first hit today. On a 2-1. Watcher strike 2. The line drive to right field. Tasker Hernandez puts it away, but the Blue Jays tack on with 4 in the top of the 7th. We stretch in game 4. They're 9 outs away from guaranteeing that those fans get a chance to watch their club at least one more time this year.
This is Judy and Pedro.
Seemed like never before with Google Cloud AI.
Oh my, do they serve that here?
Some tomahawks going. Oh, let's go, Abs. Best meat is on the bone. That marrow in there. Meat candy. Kike Hernandez fouls off the first pitch from Chris Bassett, who was turned into a weapon out of this bullpen for the Blue Jays, career starter. They knew they were going to use him out of the pen, but they didn't know what it was going to look like. John Schneider has loved what he's seen so far. New left fielder Miles Straw, after they pinch hit for Lucas. That's 2 for 1 there. France is done. Straw takes over. Bouncing ball. Jimenez will have to be quick, and is. 1 away in the 7th inning. Start Saturday strong with the undefeated top-ranked Buckeyes facing off against rival Penn State at the Horseshoe. All starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Big noon kickoff live from Columbus, and then it's Penn State and Ohio State with a classic Big Ten matchup on Big Noon Saturday. Alex Call to pinch hit for Andy Pages, who is 0 for 2 and now 4 for 50. In the playoffs. I know we talk about Dave Roberts not wanting to shake things up when he feels like the team's in the lead in this series. They got a team that should win. But if this score holds, the series then even, you got to figure that question comes up again. Do you make a change there in the 9 spot? Do you find a way to make it work defensively? Because that's the bigger issue. It would be easy if Tommy Edman was healthy, but his ankle has kept him from really playing center field freely. Kike Hernandez, the other option. He's hardly played any center field lately. But do they feel the need to get the offense going and get a little bit of a spark from a guy like this? Going 2 on call.
Well, so far, I mean, beyond unbelievable games. We've seen 2 dominant starting games, and the Jays do what they got to do in 2 games so far. Not over. 3 at bats still, 3 innings still, 2 2/3 still for the Dodgers, but amazing bounce back so far for the Toronto Blue Jays after last night.
Doing what they do.
No.
Well, they're down 2-0, lost the 2 home games to the Mariners in the championship series. Been decades since anybody had overcome that. And then they were down 3-2. 1 back-to-back games to get into this World Series. Straight 3 called on call. 2 gone in the 7th, and here's Tom Verducci.
Hey, Joe, we've seen this offensive outburst from Toronto throughout this postseason. I call it fast break baseball. 4 of their 5 hits in that inning on the first or second pitch of the at-bat. They're almost like the Showtime Lakers of baseball, the way they just push the tempo offensively. That's a credit to the hitting coach, David Popkins. Interesting story. He was a hitting coach in the Dodgers low minor league system, hired by the Twins, was there for 3 years and got fired. The Blue Jays fired their hitting coach last year, and John Schneider interviewed 4 candidates. Popkins was the last. After that interview, he walked into the office of GM Ross Atkins and said, "We found our guy." No. And the Blue Jays went from 23rd in runs to 3rd in Major League Baseball in runs scored.
Offense coming to life again here in Game 4, leading 6-1. They got 2 against Ohtani in the 3rd inning, 4 runs partially against Ohtani, then against the pen in the last half inning. 2-1 on Shohei, and we ride the seesaw of narratives and momentum in the postseason as much as anybody. It's starting to shift back to what is wrong with the Dodger offense. Thanks to the relief work last night, it gave them time to break through with the winning run. But another quiet day today. In on him, rolled to second. Chris Bassett with a 1-2-3 7th. Into the 8th inning we go in Game 4. A 6-1 Blue Jay lead. Chris Pine in attendance today in his best Dodger cap. LeBron James, Lee and Brad Pitt, seatmates. Jason Bateman was here last night as well. And Johnny Knoxville joined Game 4. By the way, he's going to host Fear Factor on Fox coming in January as Dalton Varsho takes a strike from Jack Drive.
I could see you doing that someday.
Yeah, taking over for Johnny Knoxville?
No, Fear Factor.
Oh. I don't know which one is least likely, but here's a pop fly, left side of the infield. I got it. Max Muncy for the first out. Defensive change. Alex Call, after pinch hitting for Pages, stays in, plays left field. Kike Hernandez moves to center. First time he's played there since September 7th. He only started 3 games all year in center field. And that'll be something that Dave Roberts will have to consider for Game 5. Ernie Clement, ringing double as part of the 4-run 7th. Game 5 will be a rematch of Game 1 for the starting pitchers. Kevin Gausman 6 2/3, beg your pardon, Trey Savage 2 runs over 4 innings in Game 1. Was not quite as sharp.
No, I'm going to be really intrigued to see if he regains a little bit of that adrenaline. He looked like he was out of gas with his fastball. He gets a reprieve, and now instead of pitching for his life, if it stays this way, he gets a chance to the old teeter-totter game, make the swing one way or another going back to Toronto. Again, if the game stays this way.
Lead off 1-2. You get that old cat and mouse game of the postseason, facing a team twice in one series. You know that I know that you know. Do you stick with your strengths? Do you go against what you did the first time? I know that's the part of the game you miss most.
I miss it. He has the ability to upgrade his fastball. I didn't think it was up to par. And he went to a lot of sliders. And you know the Dodgers are going to be ready for the exact same adjustments they need to make at the plate. And I would expect the same thing out of Blake Snell. Major adjustments in his fact that he's mechanically was just a little bit off. And that's all it takes sometimes for an invincible pitcher to be normal.
Tries 1-2. Clement slaps it right side. Diving stop. Freeman race to the bag. Clement, and he's safe. Ernie Clement with an infield hit, hustling his way down there.
Well, left-handers have a disadvantage when they fall off towards third base, and if they don't react right away on a ball hit to right to the first baseman, and he didn't. Watch this little pause. See that? Looks at it, too late. Then he's got to have that direct line, and it's a hard ask for a pitcher to beat a hitter going down the line.
What a shot.
Glad the bases are bigger.
Yeah, so is Ernie Clement. 10th hit of the game for the Jays, out hitting the Dodgers 10-4. Andres Gimenez got hit. Jays are saying we can't afford to lose anybody else. Earlier today, as part of the MLB Together Fall Classic Legacy Initiative, Major League Baseball and the Dodgers hosted a special event at Pasadena Fire Department 37, where funds are going to go towards renovating and enhancing the common spaces. MLBtogether.com is the spot where you can learn more.
When the Jays do their thing, they get multiple players to get hits. They don't rely just on a couple of guys. 7 of them now have gotten hits, and the Dodgers have only had 4 total hits. So 7 different players for the Jays, only 4 total hits for the Dodgers.
And Andres Gimenez, I know that the overall numbers don't look good in this postseason, but you've talked about the home runs that he hit in Seattle. His at-bat in the 7th inning with 2 strikes, down fighting, and then slapping a base hit the other way, one of the key moments.
Huge. It turned the game over to the Blue Jays, in my opinion. The team, which they've been all year in this, they feed off of stuff like that. When a guy can get a 2-strike hit and they know which 2-strike hits are sacrificing themselves to put the ball in play to drive in a run.
Robert is short for Betts. Only plays at first. Get a quick word from Strauss.
From the grit of the job site to the glory of the ball field, work wins the game. Strauss and Major League Baseball. Gear for any season.
It's called passing the baton on, and they feed off of it. What Tom was talking about, fast break offense, it's just that thing keeps going. Imagine if you get a strikeout or a couple guys strike out. That fast break offense, that ability to put the ball in play gets suffocated by lack of contact, and that's why they thrive, and they do it quick at most times in their games this year.
Snowballs on the other team, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy thing too. Like they know that this is who they are, and then it happens a little bit and they just get rolling. The freight train. Miles Straw is about to hit right here. We check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Guys, think about what the Blue Jays were up against tonight. They're coming off a crushing loss. They've lost George Springer to an injury. They're facing Shohei Ohtani. Now think about what they've accomplished this postseason. They beat the Yankees, pounding Max Fried and Carlos Rodon in that series. They overcame a 2-0 deficit in the ALCS, losing both those games at home. Then another deficit, 3-2, after a crushing loss in Game 5. And here they are tonight with Shane Bieber on the mound. Shane Bieber, a pitcher coming off Tommy John surgery, who they pushed back to Game 4 in part because they wanted to be fair to him. They wanted to make sure he pitched all he could in his final start of the season. They didn't necessarily want him going twice. They knew what he had given them coming off Tommy John surgery. They knew he was likely headed for free agency, and he gave them all he had.
And just his 11th start the last almost 2 years. No balls and 2 strikes on Miles Straw. Second and third, a 2 gone here in the 8th. We talk about the Blue Jays needing to steal one of these games with the offense, but this was more than that. Bieber just 1 run allowed. Offense, yeah, it showed up too, but it all started with Shane Bieber giving them more than they could have hoped. Charles down to the high fastball. Jays drain him at second and third. 6-1 they lead to the bottom of the 8th.
Opioid.
Alex Rodriguez, Big Papi, and Derek Jeter, presented by Strauss. All Blue Jays here in Game 4. Mookie Betts leads off the bottom of the 8th and takes the ball from Chris Bassett. And if you're looking for an area where the Dodger offense could get a spark, to get things going, look no further than right here. Mookie Betts is 0 for 3 today. Yeah, now 4 for his last 33 back to the start of the championship series. There's a good sign with a base hit over Leaping Jimenez. First base runner for the Dodgers against the reliever of the Jays tonight. And here's Freddie Freeman. Strike 1.
One thing that Bassett does, you see on his hip, he's calling the pitches with the pitch comm on his belt. So he's going to make the call right there. There's the call. So there's no discrepancy. There's no shaking off. Catcher's not going to shake him off. So he knows what pitch he's going to throw, and then he throws it.
36 years old, his 11th major league season. Gets a chase on a sinker at 94.
It really is the easiest way to do it. And I know the game is called primarily by the catchers and a lot of information, but the pitchers and the elder pitchers, the veteran pitchers, they would call their own games and make it pretty simple.
Bassett ahead 0-2. And he gets Freeman with the high heat. So many different pitches you got to worry about when you're facing Chris Bassett. And when they go all the way down to 70, low 90s feels a lot harder.
Yeah, he's got that cutting action on his fastball. Kind of a upshoot pitch where he's got that low angle and arms and legs. And then he can spin that 72-mile-an-hour Eephus breaking ball. You're not going to believe this, but Barland is up.
Chopper left side. It would not be a Blue Jays postseason game if Rubber Arm Lou didn't loosen at least. Twelve of the 14 games in their postseason run. The guy wants the ball over. He's bummed that it's not 14 out of 14. Why were you dodging me, Skip?
No!
1-1 on Smith. Bassett deals. Breaking ball at 72. For strike 2.
Now he heats one up if he wants to. It looks like 102.
No. There it is, 90, a borer. Said that every pitch that he throws has a purpose behind it. The many that he has in his arsenal, sometimes evident right away, sometimes to set something up for later in the game. Max Scherzer has described his pitching as high-level chess. Bounce it is short. There it is. 6-4. First will be the first double play of the World Series, or at least of the 2 games here.
Yeah.
And Chris Bassett with a couple scoreless relief innings. 6-1 Jays to the 9. To get 12 hits. They're at 10 going into this 9th inning, and they've got the heart of the order coming up here. Ladd Jr. rounds it foul. His 2-run home run against Shohei Ohtani changed the score. Back in the 3rd, it was 1-0 Dodgers, and then Guerrero hit a 2-run shot. Dodgers have more home runs in this series, but 6 of the 7 home runs the Dodgers have hit have been solo shots. Well, the Blue Jays have 5 home runs. All 5 of them have had somebody on base. Dumps a base hit into right field. Guerrero's on for the 3rd time today. Here's the home run back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, this pitch right here, don't get too many of them from Ohtani, and he didn't miss it.
And that goes the other way. This guy has just played the full game. Last night was something. And watching him run the bases, watching him field his position. Bichette fouls it back. Well, the big story moving forward is going to be George Springer's health. Can they get him back? They on the verge of winning this game convincingly without him. Yeah, I mean, it would be a shock to me if he returned to the lineup. But
it would be. But the best case would be after get tomorrow off, next day off, and then possibly Game 7 at home.
And this win right here gives you the freedom to do that.
Yeah, correct.
A lot of times you see a guy leave a game with everything we saw, holding what he was holding, walking right off. It's a month or 2.
Yeah, he didn't even step another swing, so you knew he knew something.
No! Well, the Blue Jays have proven once again this is not David against Goliath. 94 wins, most in the American League. Well, 3 outs away from accomplishing what they needed to in the 3 games here.
And let's not undersell what Bichette's doing. I mean, the fact that he's playing after his team rewarded him to get to the World Series, hadn't played him for so long, playing on his knee, free agent. Now it looks like he's getting more connected at the plate and getting some big hits.
No. This would be his first time playing the full game. John Schneider trying to not run him into the ground, but also, okay, this is the World Series. Like, we got to go. So going through a process that would normally be a couple weeks to get built back up very quickly in the pressure cooker of the World Series, no less. Payoff pitch. Bichette punches it to first. Freddie Freeman knocks it down. And it'll get Bichette.
But if there's a silver lining, in that very small silver lining, with Springer not being able to play, it allows Bichette to DH and take the stress off of his knee defensively, which you know has got to be helping him a little bit.
Well, you can wear the gear that makes champions. Check out the largest collection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. From the dugout to your doorstep. Grab official World Series gear just like the players wear at MLBshop.com. I don't know if they sell the shirt that Addison Barger wore to Media Day before Game 1. It said in big bold letters, "I hit balls hard." Certainly swings hard, one of the fastest bats in baseball. When he does connect, it goes a long way. 2 more hits in this game. Close to 400 over his last 9. It's after a slow start to this postseason. Not a guy that gets talked about as much. It's like you got the rule guys, the scrappy guys down at the bottom. You got the stars at the top. You almost gloss over the impact Barger has made. This guy is down on strikes. All the games starting at 8 o'clock Eastern in this Fall Classic. We know tomorrow night, and then the scene shifts to Toronto for Game 6 almost assuredly. If the Blue Jays can get the last 3 outs of this game, Game 7 would be Saturday night. First pitch around 8 o'clock Eastern, but the coverage begins with the pregame show at 7. We put Kirk on intentionally. First and second for Varsho.
And all eyes will be on that young man tomorrow. He's ready for it. I mean, there's nothing rattling him. It's just a matter if he can throw enough strikes against this disciplined Dodgers team. Unorthodox release point at 7.1 feet.
And the Dodgers have to be able to count on that Blake Snell's not going to have back-to-back games like that, as good as he had been lately. 5 runs on 8 hits over 5 innings in Game 1. And this guy was historically good a few starts before that.
Absolutely. And he'll make the necessary. He was rushing a little bit. He couldn't keep his head back, being Blake Snell and his mechanics, and it just cost him a little bit. And a lot of pitches that the Blue Jays made him throw.
0-2 from Dreyer. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Last chance for the Dodgers. Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Tommy Edman coming up. Without George Springer, Vlad Jr. and the Blue Jays ahead 6-1 to the bottom of the 9th. Trying to tie this series up at 2 apiece.
This MLB season, bet live with FanDuel and make the game come alive. Any homer.
To the bottom of the 9th inning we go in Game 4 after the 18-inning thriller last night. The Blue Jays have controlled this one. The 4-run 7th inning giving them the breathing room. There he is, Louis Varland. 13th appearance in 15 playoff games for the Jays.
I know he won't do it because you got to still pitch, but with a 6-1 game, I would use this opportunity to throw all fastballs till somebody gets a hit.
Don't show him anything else.
Correct. You know, they talk about seeing a pitcher second and third time through as a starter and it's a go. Do not let him face it. But nobody ever talks about the relievers facing a hitter 3 times in a series.
When that happens, the OPS is 860. That gets you to the All-Star game. So that's when you face a reliever a 3rd time in the same series. Overexposure. Couple fastballs, but a couple misses, and a 2-0 pitch. Now, ball 3. Wow. Just off. Jeff Hoffman is down there stretching. He hasn't started to throw, but you know John Schneider's not going to mess around here.
The goal to not get that man to warm up.
Count.
This is the only time in the game that you can throw a pitch right down the middle and no one's going to get upset at you.
5-run lead. Leadoff guy in the 9th. No. Takes off arm and a leadoff walk. John, let's take you back to the glory days. 30 years ago today, Game 6, your Braves finished off a championship.
Oh, you mean a good moment?
We always do tend to bring up the bad ones, don't we?
A very, very good moment. One that we thought would spin into a lot of those, but like the Dodgers are trying to do.
Muncy down the line. That's down for a hit and scoots to the wall. On his way to second with a double. And the first two have reached for LA in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, that answers that question. Hoffman will get fired up and get going in the bullpen. And now that they got the hit off your fastball, he'll go back to pitching. You can't pitch scared, but you got 5 runs to play with. And the leadoff walk is always something that just seems worse. It does. It seems worse than giving up a leadoff single or a double or even a home run.
And as Hoffman gets going, even if he doesn't come into this game, you've done a little something if you're the Dodgers by forcing him to warm up. Pete Walker, the pitching coach. Tommy Edmonds ready to bat here. Trying to make things interesting. 6 hours and 39 minutes it took to play game 3. Blue Jays are hoping this one doesn't get anywhere close to that. And 2:48 here and 3 outs away from finishing the job. And the Dodgers put the stress on here in the 9th inning. The 1 run came back in the 2nd. Jays took the lead a half inning later on a home run from Guerrero. Dodgers not much of a threat since. Edman a single and a walk today. Strike 1. Crowd trying to see if they can push the Dodgers forward, inspire a rally. Ball and a strike. Edman the 7 hitter. Kike Hernandez on deck. Then it's Alex Call. Then to the top of the order.
Yeah, you don't. Well, first of all, John Schneider's not going to let the tying run come to the plate before he goes to Hoffman. So if any more action happens, that'll be it.
Barlin's 1-1. Sharp curve. Strike 2. Flea's got a rally cap. Grounded to third. Clements got it. Just in time at first. Hernandez in to score 6-2.
Yeah, those runners on base don't mean anything. And it's anyone else who gets on base that becomes good play here. Almost took just a little too long.
Ernie's saying baseball clock dialed in. Hernandez knocked in their first run. Ball 1. 13 hitters faced in this series by Varland, and it starts to look like he's maybe running out of steam. 7 of the 13 have reached. 5 hits, 2 walks. Yep. Helped him out. Former Minnesota Twin, deadline pickup. Fires 1-1. Into the strike. Game was started by 1 deadline pickup in Shane Bieber. John Schneider would love to finish it with another. The 1-2 to Kike Hernandez. Now lays off. Count evens up. Two. Got him with a breaking ball. 2 gone in the 9th.
Really good break on that to get Kike Hernandez to swing at this, looking like a fastball coming out of his hand.
Up to Alex Call to try to get this to the top of the order for the Dodgers. Down 6-2, down to their last out. In a game that turned in a one-inning stretch from the bottom of the 6th to the top of the 7th today. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2 on with 1 out. Mason Fluharty comes in for Shane Bieber, gets out of that jam. A half inning later, Dodger bullpen comes into a similar situation and gives up 4 runs. So you talk about the home run from Guerrero, you talk about the rally from the offense and the length of the lineup in the 7th, but don't forget the name Mason Fluharty tonight. Garland's 0-1 pitch. Come after a look at 7. Trey Savage, Blake Snell. Game 5 tomorrow. It'll be the last game in LA this season. And 1963 will remain the only championship the Dodgers have hoisted in front of their home crowd.
Man, what's going on?
Is he worried that he's delivering signs?
If you're worried about it, do it one more time. Send him over to third.
The auto balk you'll sometimes see relievers do. Get out of there where you can't see the end of my glove. There you go. That's the third disengagement. An automatic balk. And he's saying that's exactly what I wanted. Now you can't see into my glove.
Right.
Everybody.
Now the 0-1. Call off of the bench for Pages. Took strike 3, called his first time. If the choice is Kike Hernandez to center field instead of Andy Pages, Call may find himself in the lineup.
No.
Ahead 2-1.
So there's 2 ways if you're wondering what could happen as base runner at second. He can see the grip in the glove. That's one way you can relay a sign, or location. Perfectly legal to relay signs on the field.
Line drive left field. Miles Straw puts it away. And the Blue Jays have tied this series up. After the gut-wrenching loss last night that might have just wiped a lesser team off, the Blue Jays bounce back and win it 6-2.
Very impressive. You know, both teams were running on fumes. But the team that had the most adrenaline was the team that won last night, and that was the Dodgers. And give the Blue Jays a lot of credit. I mean, that man right there got it going. I know he said it was a 2-out home run, but it was a 1-out, 2-run home run.
Either way, put the Jays in front. A lead they would not relinquish. 6-2 the final score. They've got the rookie Trey Savage going tomorrow. Both guys going to be looking for bounce-back games. A Savage for the Jays, Snell for the Dodgers. Mission accomplished. There will be more baseball in Toronto this year. Best of 7 has become a best of 3. And they know it back at Rogers Center, where they're getting on their phones and seeing, are there any tickets left? Because we got a Game 6 coming up on Friday night. Will it be with a 3-2 lead, or will the Dodgers be a win away from a repeat? We'll get the answer to that question tomorrow night with Game 5. After the break, the Strauss postgame show. Kevin Burkhardt, Alex, Poppy, and Derek.
If Jerry knew football the way Tom Brady knows football.
Right back to the tune of a 6-2 Game 4 win, and all of a sudden, we've got a 2-2 World Series. Shane Bieber was terrific. Vladdy did his thing with a home run, and the Jays offense just kind of pecked away and put some runs on the board. The bullpen held it down, and here we are. We got a best of 3 on our hands here at Dodger Stadium. We say welcome. Derek Jeter's here, David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. We talked about Toronto. How would they bounce back from, as you called it, the uppercut that they absorbed last night? That was about as good as a response as you could possibly have.
In all my years, it's one of the most amazing recoveries in less than 24 hours for this team. Look, we've been saying it all along. Anytime that you bet against this team, they prove you wrong. And tonight, Shane Bieber was fantastic. pitched beautifully, great sequencing, great command the whole night. 7 different Blue Jays got hits. Their best player, Vladimir Guerrero, with a home run and errorless ball. And
here he comes.
Oh, Vlad Jr.
That
is
man of the
walking
hour.
on over. He's going to hang with us after a big 2-run home run, was on base multiple times, doing his thing, couple hits, 2 RBIs, and he gets the Blue Jays back in this World Series, all tied at 2. Vlad, what's up, man? All right, so my chair just went way up here. Try to get down. I'm stuck. Anyway, Vlad, great to see you. How did you do it? How did you yourself and your teammates kind of rebound after last night and get ready to play here today?
I mean, yesterday was a tough lose, you know, but we flushed it right away. And to us, it's one game at a time, one pitch at a time. And thank God we come with a W today.
Vlad, now, you guys have been the best team in baseball coming back. Every time people think that you're finished, you always fight back. Where does that mentality come from, and how much confidence did you guys have coming to the park this morning?
I mean, it's a 27 now, you know. 27 now, we grinder, we always positive. The first thing I said yesterday is like, I flush it, try to rest, and tomorrow we're trying to come to the first inning and trying to win the game, you know. And I learned that from a lot of you guys. And when you got that and you mind, it's not over yet. Something like today happens.
Black, they were interviewing Dave Roberts. First of all, congratulations, big boy.
Thank you.
They were interviewing Dave Roberts right after you hit the home run. And he basically said he wouldn't even sit on that pitch. Take me through that at bat against, especially against Ohtani, who had that 98 miles an hour fastball in the back pocket.
I mean, and that at bat, when I made my fastball, that was a good swing, you know. And when I hit that foul ball, I say he's not gonna throw me the fastball again. So I put my mind soft, and that's a good pitch.
He hanging, we banging.
Yeah.
Vlad, congrats. What an amazing game, and one of the most amazing recoveries in less than 24 hours to come back. It shows the grit and the character that you've shown all year. My question, I want to build off of what Poppy just asked. You know, both teams are almost sleepwalking because you can tell there's fatigue, right? Did you feel that you were the guy that had to step up in that big moment with that shot to get your team going? And how good did it feel when you saw that ball go over the fence?
I mean, like I said, I just try to help the team to win. You know, I not put pressure on myself. You know, I just try to get a good pitch to him, and he gave me that pitch, and I hit it out.
You're hanging,
Vlad, how much juice did Bieber give you tonight? I mean, when you really needed it, he was as good as he's been since you got him in the trade deadline.
He's one of the best, man. He's an amazing human being, an amazing player. He's always told us before the game, I believe in you. I believe in you, you know, and when you got pitcher like that, told you he believe in us, and you got to be give it 100% and give it the heart, and that 2 line.
But change directions here just for a second. How bad do you feel for George Springer? I mean, he's been a guy that has been on this stage and had so much success. He's one of the leaders of your team. He comes up with big hits. When a guy like that goes down on your team, do you feel like you have to pick it up even more?
Like I say, I just try to help the team to win. I don't put pressure on myself. If I want to do too much, I get pressure on myself, you know. But to me, it's like he told us just to say sorry. I say, man, it's a baseball. Don't say sorry, you know. You don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I believe in this team, man. This team is so special.
Fun to watch, man.
Thank you.
So, Vlad, last night, obviously, it was a big celebration here in L.A. Everyone is betting against you guys that you wouldn't be able to recover. Talk to me about what happened in that locker room last night. Did anybody speak up? And what is it about this team that you're so resilient, that you're able to come back in less than 24 hours and perform like this?
I mean, yesterday everybody was with his head down, you know, in the locker room. And when I was the last one to go in, and when I went in, I saw everybody with his head down, and I say, come on, bro, head up. It's not over yet. It's not over. They not win the four games. Right. You have to win 4 games to win the World Series. You know, it's not over yet. And everybody was smiling. I say, if you want to put music, put some music. You know, and we put a little bit of music and we go home and rest and come back and win today.
You're just like this guy. You're like Papa. You're a winner.
That's why you're my dog. Matter of fact, I got a present for you, baby. I got a cigar.
Oh, a cigar too.
And I got one on my dog shirt for my boy right here. Come on, Baladi, take it, baby. There you go.
Poppy, that's black.
I got some bullet right there left.
Is that the VIP black? The VIP edition?
No, that's my boy. Only the bad guys wear the shirt. I love you, baby. Te quiero mucho.
He always gives out the shirt. That's the first cigar he's given out. So
That's
you
right.
know he loves you right there, baby.
This is my guy.
He loved me.
Enjoy it. Congrats. We'll see you for Game 5, okay?
Thank you.
Vlad
Thank you,
Guerrero
guys.
Jr. amazing again tonight as he's been these whole playoffs. And that brings us to Game 5 of the World Series back here in L.A. tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with the pregame show right here on Fox. And now we're all tied at 2, a lot on the line for that one. Meanwhile, stay tuned for your late local news, except from the West Coast here on Fox. And for continuing post-game coverage of the World Series, turn on FS1 right now. We'll hear from Shohei Ohtani. We'll hear from Shane Bieber and break down this huge Toronto Game 4 win.
That's next.